So I was about to record an episode on what really defines you. I've been trying to get back into these videos again, and I even was listening to the previous first video where I did sound pretty serious. So I'm still kind of gauging the mood on how I want to do these videos. But I mean, the whole purpose, just for some background, is I just want to record just some of my thoughts. I mean, I have them with friends and stuff like that, and usually we'll kind of agree, etc. And then sometimes you forget some stuff. So it's good. I just want to just a way just to record my thoughts, and also a way to reflect on them, almost like a memo or something like that. So that's kind of why I'm doing these whole videos in the first place, and I'm recording several before releasing them. So I was about to do a video on what really defines you, plural. And then I was thinking, well, before I get into this video on what defines you, I kind of just wanted to explain why I'm doing this, but also the importance of not just to reflect, but also the importance of, which is what this video is about, is why it's really important to actually speak out loud your ideas. And this is another it's a therapeutic practice for me to really understand kind of what I believe in, by actually speaking out loud, because we all can sit there and think about, or we can dwell on our thoughts, and we can just spend a lot of time just sitting there and really kind of contemplating on what we think, etc. However, what I found is that these thoughts inside of our head, even when they're not destructive, because I think we all know, especially when I go back to the first video talking about the spiraling thoughts of destruction, like we are our worst enemy, the old cliche, etc. But even just general thoughts, even non-destructive thoughts, sometimes you think you kind of you think you know where you stand on a certain position, or you think your thought of a certain issue, or even just a general concept is well kind of established, and you're like, yes, I fully understand, this is exactly what I believe. But then you'll find when you actually go and talk to people about it, sometimes you'll kind of think, when you say it out loud, you're like, do I actually mean that? So what I mean by that is, our thoughts inside of our head sometimes don't actually reflect what we truly believe, or actually what we truly think. They can be a bit deceptive. I mean, I'll give you an example. A classic one, which probably everyone kind of realizes, is maybe they've become really angry with someone because they've done something to upset them, right? And then we go, oh, Matt, he's just an absolute douchebag. He's done this, and this. He's just really selfish. He just doesn't understand things. He just says stuff which is just really offensive. Like, he clearly is just very numb to these things. So you say that, and then while you're telling someone that, and they're listening, and they're like, and you're trying to kind of convince them of your point, you say that. But then after you say that, sometimes we might feel a bit of guilt, going like, oh, did I actually mean that? Did I, is he as selfish? Is he really a douchebag? Or was I just kind of angry? It kind of seems so clear in my head, but when I said it out loud, when I heard myself saying it, it just sounded like it was maybe a bit too over the top from me. So that's a classic example of where sometimes our thoughts don't actually reflect what we truly believe, and then you kind of think to yourself, yeah, okay, I'm still not a fan of Matt, but maybe I was being a bit too harsh. It usually comes out a bit more, and also that's because as well, kind of emotions can really latch onto our thoughts and our inner thoughts, and really like dilute what actually we truly think. But that's the whole purpose of actually speaking your thoughts in the first place, because if you can't articulate your thoughts, and this is what this video is really about, is if you can't articulate your thoughts properly, then you haven't really kind of properly thought on the issue that you're thinking about, or you don't really truly believe in what your initial thoughts, or your kind of top level thoughts that are coming into your head. So I feel like the moment you are actually truly thinking is when you're actually speaking out loud. You're articulating what you think, what you believe. And if you can do that, and you can do that convincingly, then I think you can say to yourself, yeah, actually this is the position I hold. Until you don't do that, there's always a bit of doubt in your mind, and there's always a bit of doubt on the actual clarity and consistency of the thoughts that you have. So this is why I'm doing these videos as well, because I think these things in my head. I could just be doing this little inner monologue in my head of what exactly I'm saying now. However, it won't be as good. It's almost like there's a bit of a bias in there. But now I'm speaking out loud, which is hard because I'm trying to articulate myself. I even look back on my first video, and when I talk on the issue of self-confidence, it's so clear in my head. But when I start talking out loud, it's a bit more, let's say, messy, right? And so when I'm articulating myself, when I'm really thinking about what I'm saying, what words I'm using, it really is the moment I'm truly thinking about what I actually think on a certain issue, or what I actually believe. And it's great because then you actually even realize sometimes that actually maybe I don't actually believe that, maybe that's not true, and then it opens up some new lines of thoughts, and you kind of update your thinking. And obviously that's really important as well. Your thinking is constantly evolving, because if it stays the same, it stagnates, and it will just kind of die, and you'll rest on your laurels. And so you need to kind of constantly be challenging your mindset and constantly moving forward, because if you're not moving forward, well, there's no such thing as standing still when it comes to thoughts. You just regress. So yeah, that's why it's really important. That's one reason why I'm doing these videos, because really it is for me to actually a way just to speak out loud, and not just speak out loud to myself and nothing. I am speaking to myself here, but I'm doing it to record a video so I can listen to it back, not just sitting on my bed and just talking to thin air, and that is it. So that's one reason. But then also, it kind of quite ties with the point which I'm trying to make here of, it's the reason why articulating your thoughts is so important. It is the moment you are truly thinking, when you're articulating your thoughts, not when you are just kind of sitting inside your head and just spiraling with these certain thoughts. That is not when you're truly thinking, and a lot of the time it can be self-destructive. So yeah, really kind of, if you have thoughts in your head, really try and get them out. I think the best way is always to try and talk to like a close friend and really articulate it, and then you will do some thinking, and they may offer like a couple of points here and there, which is great. That's the best way. But if you don't feel comfortable with that, if you have trust issues, or you just don't feel like doing that, etc., etc., maybe just grab a mic, or just a memo on your phone, and just start talking, just start speaking. If you're frustrated, say you're frustrated, say something's happened, or say you're kind of really deep in thought about something else, instead of just sitting in your room just kind of allowing these spiraling thoughts to happen, just whack on the voice recorder on your phone and just say what you think. And then actually you speaking out loud, you'll really refine actually what you really think. And then not only that as well, then you can actually look back at this audio and go, or listen back to this audio and go, damn, I was a bit off, or oh, that's a bit, maybe that wasn't the best thing to say, or what I really meant. And it's kind of therapeutic. It's really refreshing. So yeah, that's the importance of articulating your thoughts. And again, the whole point is you're only really thinking truly, properly, when you can articulate your thoughts.